Hello student, welcome to this new video lecture related to Evans tries in O-level. Here in this video we shall discuss about page number 81. Before that I would like to tell you what we have already finished. We have already discussed about Evans who is pursuing German O-level. Started getting classes in September. In March month, the governor made a call to examination board, secretary of examination board, and all the arrangements were made. Ultimately, the day arrived, the day of examination. It was 8th June, Tuesday. Reverend Stuart McCleary, who was supposed to be invigilator, entered into the premises at 8:45 a.m. He signed in visitors register. And furthermore, he was handed over to Jackson, then Jackson handed him over to Stephens. The examination was scheduled to start at 9:15 a.m. but it could not due to security reasons. It started at 9:25. After some corrections, it ended at 11:25. It was 2 hours exam. So what we have studied by now, that is up to page number 80, where the governor heard, if you remember, governor had put a microphone in the cell of Evans so that he could listen the conversation of Evans and Stuart McCleary. He did not want to take any chance. So he heard all the conversation, and ultimately the ending time was there. Just before 5 minutes, there was a call from Stuart McCleary, who reminded Evans that he had only 5 minutes left. At 11:22, only 3 minutes before the examination was over, the governor called Mr. Jackson. Mr. Jackson shouted for Mr. Stephens, and Mr. Stephens listened the orders conveyed by the governor, the person who was on phone. Actually, further we'll come to know, he was not the governor who ordered, someone else ordered. And the order was given to him that he should escort Stuart McCleary, Reverend Stuart McCleary, to prison gates. He was so happy to listen the order that he did not mind who called or who not. He was very happy, excited that he was honored to escort Stuart McCleary to prison gates. And now we'll continue page number 81. So let's continue. McCleary, it was time to end the session. Examination. Stop writing, please. Reverend Stuart McCleary, who was the invigilator, asked Evans to stop writing. Silence. And all this was being listened by the governor. McCleary, put your seats in order and see they are correctly numbered. Once again silence. McCleary then ordered Evans to put all those seats in order and number those seats so that it could be easily read by the examiner. scraping of chairs and tables. Then the governor heard the scraping of chairs and tables, moving of chairs and tables. Evans, thank you very much, sir. Examination was over. Evans thanked Stuart McLeary. McLeary, all right, was it? Stuart McLeary asked Evans, was your examination all right? Evans, not too bad. He answered, it was not too bad. McLeary, good, Mr. Stephens. Then loudly he calls for Stephens. Mr. Stephens, the governor heard the door clang for the last time. The examination was over. So the governor heard the door clang, opening and closing of the door. He heard it. And the examination was finally over. How did he get on, do you think? Asked Stephens as he walked beside McLeary to the main gates. McLeary was being escorted by Stephens. So Stephens asked Stuart McLeary, what do you think? Will he pass the examination? Ouch! I cannot think he is distinguished himself. No, I can't think that. He is distinguished himself. He is a kind of particular, specific. I am afraid about him, whether he would pass or not. His Scots accent seemed broader than ever. Now, his Scotic accent that he was speaking earlier seemed broader than earlier. And his long black overcoat reaching almost to his knees. He was there in long overcoat, and now the long overcoat was reaching lower than his knees. So there was a great difference in his appearance, fostered the illusion that he had suddenly grown slimmer. Fostered the illusion, a thought, an idea came to the mind of Stephens that suddenly he has grown slimmer. Stephens felt pleased that the governor had asked him. He was very happy. He did not have time to think such things about the appearance of Stuart McLeary. Why? Because he was delighted, excited that governor had asked him to escort him to prison gates. The governor did not ask Jackson, the senior officer. So he was very happy, elated. And not Jackson, to see McLeary off the premises, to see him off. And all in all, the morning had gone pretty well. He was also happy. The morning had gone pretty well. Everything was all right. At least what they feared that Evans would try to get away, that did not happen. Everything was all right. But something stopped him framing his way directly to the canteen for a belated cup of coffee. Something stopped him framing his way. It was 11:30 approx when he was escorting Stuart McLeary. So it was a belated cup of coffee. Coffee should be given at early morning. So he wanted to go there to have a cup of coffee. His way directly to the canteen for a belated cup of coffee. He wanted to take just one last look at Evans. But he did not go there. He wanted to take a last look at Evans, whether he was all right. It was like a program he had seen on TV about a woman who could never really convince herself that she had gone to bed. It reminded him while he was escorting Stuart McLeary to prison gate, the last time he thought whether he should go and check whether Evans was in the cell or not. It reminded him of a serial when he noticed a woman who went to bed and thinking that whether she has locked the door or not. So just for the sake of checking. Often she would got up 12, 15, sometimes 20 times to check the bolts. Often she would get up to check whether she had fastened the bolts, she has closed the doors, and for this purpose she woke up 12 times, 15 times. He re-entered D wing. Then he re-entered D wing, made his way along Evans' cell, went to Evans' cell and opened the peephole once more. Once again, he opened the peephole. Oh no! Christ, no! There, sprawled back in Evans' chair was a man. What he noticed, there was lying a man in Evans' chair. Was a man. For a semi-second, for half a second, Stephens thought it must be Evans. For half a second, Stephens thought it was Evans. A grey regulation blanket slipping from his shoulders. So he was carrying a grey regulation blanket that was slipping from his shoulder. If you remember, Evans asked for draping a grey colored blanket from his bunk. A grey regulation blanket slipping from his shoulders. The front of his closely cut, irregularly tufted. Tufted means bunch. Here was flooded. It was soaked with fierce red blood, which had dripped already through the small black beard that was coming here to beard, and was even now spreading horribly over the white clerical collar and down into the black clerical front. Coming from here and then collar and then at front, and he was wearing a white shirt. Was he really Evans? Was he really Stuart McLeary? What was that? We shall discuss in next video. Thank you very much.